At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Welcome to the 2020 LGBTQ+ Business Summit and Community Honors, presented by Georgia Power. My name is Charmaine Ward-Millner. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I am the Director of Corporate Relations for Georgia Power, a proud and long-standing platinum partner of the Out Georgia Business Alliance. Our corporate relations and supplier diversity teams came together to support this 3-day virtual experience because we believe in Out Georgia's mission, vision, and robust membership. In 2019, Georgia Power Corporate Relations, in collaboration with Supplier Diversity, hosted our inaugural Minority Chamber of Commerce Forum, bringing together 12 diverse chambers of commerce to focus on the needs of small businesses, including Georgia Power's small business programs, certifications, and how to become part of our new Supplier Diversity Network. By nurturing relationships with diverse suppliers, including female, minority, and veteran-owned businesses, we broaden our access to products and services while demonstrating our commitment to economic inclusion across the state of Georgia. We understand that by sustaining an inclusive and diverse workforce and actively engaging community partners and diverse suppliers, we are helping to make our business stronger. We maintain a culture of collaboration and integrity. We value our employees' diverse perspectives, talents, skills, and backgrounds, and ensure that we provide all employees with opportunities to learn, grow, advance their careers, and make a difference. Georgia Power's Diversity and Inclusion Organization measures our company performance often and reports this frequently, along with other key performance measures to our CEO and our leadership team. Our Pride Power Employee Resource Group fosters an inclusive work environment built on our values where lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender employees and their allies are empowered to be authentic, valued, and respected. Georgia Power is committed to making a positive impact in the LGBTQ community. We will continue to demonstrate our mantra, being a citizen wherever we serve.
Out Georgia Business Alliance, serving as Georgia's only LGBTQ+ and allied chamber of commerce, serves 500+ small businesses across our state. To continue delivering on our mission, growing our impact, and bringing high-quality programming to our community, Out Georgia relies on the support and leadership of our corporate partners and event sponsors. We want to thank Georgia Power for serving as our platinum partner and the presenting sponsor of this year's 2020 LGBTQ+ Business Summit and Community Honors. Without Georgia Power support, we would not be together this week learning, supporting, and celebrating with each other. Thank you. Several incredible organizations also helped make this event possible, including our gold sponsors, Bank of America, Grady Health System, and Wells Fargo. Our silver sponsor, UPS. Our bronze sponsors, Counter Narrative Project, Nelson Mullins, Riley Scarborough, and Tier PM. Our small business sponsors, APG Emerging Tech, Bruce Logue with Palmer House Properties, and Katie Lycom. Our media sponsors include Georgia Voice, Peach ATL Media, and Project Q. And finally, we could not bring this event to life without production sponsors, Dunlop Productions and Hierarchy. On behalf of Out Georgia Business Alliance, thank you, Georgia Power, and our event sponsors.
My name is Michael Daniels. My pronouns are him, he, and his. And I have the honor of serving as president of the board of directors. Out Georgia Business Alliance proudly serves as Georgia's only LGBT+ and allied chamber of commerce. And we couldn't be more excited to bring you this 3-day virtual experience to learn, support, and celebrate alongside each other. 2020 has been a challenging and relentless year for so many of us, especially for BIPOC, people of color, LGBT+, transgenders, and marginalized communities across Georgia, our nation, and the world. At this time of this recording, COVID-19 has claimed the lives of 1.2 million people worldwide, 238,000 in the United States, and almost 8,500 right here in Georgia. This pandemic has had a crippling economic, health, and social impact, and we must urge everyone here in Georgia to continue to prioritize health, safety, and personal responsibility as we head into the holiday season. We extend our deepest gratitude and appreciation to our healthcare professionals and frontline workers who have protected and served with the utmost care. In March, Out Georgia pivoted to meet the needs of our membership, the majority representing small and mid-sized businesses that took significant hits to revenue and operations. We shifted all programming to virtual and partnered with several organizations like the U.S. Small Business Administration, UGA Small Business Development Center, and the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We work closely with numerous members, navigating COVID-19 emergency loans, paycheck protection programs, operational changes, and Out Georgia, we made sure that every LGBTQ+ allied business was welcomed and served, regardless of their ability to pay. During the pandemic, we witnessed systematic racism, violence, and injustice boiling over throughout our country. Ahmaud Arbery, Rashard Brooks, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, and far too many of our Black and brown Americans just like me have lost their lives because of this racist violence. Know that Out Georgia is committed to combating racism and discrimination, and we are committed to advancing LGBTQ+ businesses, professionals, and nonprofit leaders of color to foster economic prosperity and allyship amongst our minority communities. Our chamber, now led by the first Black gay male in its history, stands upon the shoulders of strong Black lesbian leadership to build economic equality and opportunity across our state. We are hopeful about our future. This year in Georgia, we've seen the passage of LGBTQ+ inclusive hate crimes legislation and a growing list of cities with non-discrimination protections, including Atlanta, Brookhaven, Clarkston, Chamblee, Decatur, Doraville, Dunwoody, East Point, Savannah, Smyrna, and now Statesboro. In a historic 6-3 ruling in June, the U.S. Supreme Court in Bostock versus Clayton County and Georgia affirmed the sexual orientation and gender identity discrimination are prohibited under Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Thanks to the leadership of Black women and women of color, including Stacey Abrams, Helen Butler, Nsé Ufont, Deborah Scott, and Tamika Atkins, we've seen record voter registration and turnout here in Georgia. We now have the largest contingent of LGBTQ+ elected officials representing the Peach State, and our first Black LGBTQ+ Georgia State Senator with Reverend Kim Jackson. Out Georgia congratulates President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who is the first woman and the first woman of color to serve our country as VP. We have high expectations for advancing economic equity, equality, and prosperity for all. And we look forward to working with the amazing Biden-Harris administration. The late Congressman John Lewis left us with this very inspiring message. He said, "I urge you to answer to the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe in." Out Georgia Business Alliance believes in equity, access, diversity, inclusion, and opportunity for all Georgians. We believe in you. Now, it's time to dive into the 2020 LGBTQ+ Business Summit and Community Honors presented by Georgia Power.
Hi, my name is Chris Lugo. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I serve as Executive Director of the Out Georgia Business Alliance. I am pumped to bring you the 2020 LGBTQ+ Business Summit and Community Honors presented by Georgia Power. Thank you to Charmaine Ward-Millner, representing Georgia Power, and our board president, Michael Daniels, for helping kick us off. Out Georgia is home to 500+ member businesses and nonprofits, 70 certified LGBT-owned businesses, 40+ corporate partners, and a growing list of community and economic partners. Our mission centers on business development, advocacy, and community engagement and impact. Our initiatives include a focus on TGNC workforce and entrepreneurial talent, emerging LGBTQ+ leaders, and intersectional allyship amongst Georgia's minority communities. Know that we want you to bring your entire self to Out Georgia, and be sure to visit us at outgeorgia.org to learn how you can get involved in Georgia's only LGBTQ+ and allied Chamber of Commerce. Before I share more about what to expect over the next few days, it's important to note that we're coming to you during Transgender Awareness Week. And this Friday is Transgender Day of Remembrance, in a startling year marked with violence against the transgender community.
Well, this year has certainly been a year that none of us expected. It's been a time when the inhumanity of our culture has been exposed on multiple fronts. By the intensified struggle for racial justice in response to shocking manifestations of systemic violence and oppression, by a pandemic that has wreaked havoc on our physical and economic health, and especially on the well-being of the most marginalized among us, and by the perpetuation of an us and them culture by our nation's political system. And in the midst of this relentless turmoil, our trans and gender nonconforming community continues to be amongst the hardest hit demographic. Barriers to employment, equitable health care, affordable housing, and other basic human rights continue to disproportionately affect TGNC Americans. An even more sobering reality is the number of TGNC lives that have been lost to violence and hatred at the hands of a culture that insists that we don't deserve to exist, with the majority of these victims being our Black trans sisters. In 2020 alone, a record 32 TGNC Americans have lost their lives just for being who they are. And all of us know that this number is likely even higher, since many murdered trans people are often misgendered by the police and their deaths are misreported in the media. If we've learned anything this year, it is that we cannot separate racial justice from gender diversity justice. The multiple intersections that exist in our community irrefutably contribute to the degree of violence and discrimination experienced by our TGNC siblings. And if we do not understand the implications that these layers of intersections have for those who are most marginalized in our community, then we will continue to perpetuate the barriers that put our most vulnerable siblings at risk. So what can be done? The first thing that those of us who are white can do is we can acknowledge our privilege. We must recognize that while we may share similar life experiences to that of our TG and siblings of color, that there are unearned, inherent advantages to being white. As a white TGNC individual or ally, we need to acknowledge that we are a part of the systemic racial injustice that permeates our culture. So our responsibility is to listen, learn, and act as advocates. A second thing that each of us participating in this event can do is elevate marginalized voices. We can invite those individuals who are the most affected by systemic injustice to have a seat at the table. All of these voices and perspectives need to be heard, acknowledged, and valued as a part of the solution. And finally, we must show up for our TGNC siblings of color. We must use our financial means to advocate and advance for programs and institutions working to meet their needs. We must join together in peaceful protests, showing our solidarity for systemic change and lasting justice. We must transform the landscape of our workplaces in order to achieve equitable employment and opportunities for advancement. We must embody the truth that until all of us are free, none of us are free. So on this 2020 Transgender Day of Remembrance, I ask you, what is one thing that you will do to show up for our community? What is one action that you will take to memorialize those who have lost their lives and to support the most marginalized in our community? Please know that your commitment to this action could literally save the life of a TGNC individual. Thank you.
Out Georgia is more diverse than ever, but know that we are committed to advancing and elevating our transgender and gender nonconforming siblings every step of the way. This year's summit was built with the expertise, passion, and voice of our membership. With an action-packed agenda each day, I encourage you to not only learn from your peers, but use this as an opportunity to learn about your peers. We have member-led workshops and panels, and you can build your own schedule directly within this event platform. If you encounter a tough choice between two simultaneous sessions, don't worry, you'll have access to all recordings, even if you can't attend live. The Virtual Expo is where you'll find our event sponsors and exhibitors. Similar to a live conference experience, you can visit each booth and speak one-on-one with representatives from these companies. Tomorrow, this virtual space will also be where our B2B Matchmaker session will take place, which is open to every single attendee. At the end of each day, we'll come together as a community to network, to celebrate the most influential LGBTQ+ Georgians, and to share in a special Out Georgia announcement alongside United Way of Greater Atlanta. On Thursday, we'll focus on self-care and wellness during the day before we turn our focus and energy to the 2020 Community Honors Spotlight Awards. Starting at 7 p.m., we'll recognize our 2020 honorees in the categories of Business Leader, Community Leader, Next Gen Emerging LGBTQ+ Leader, Nonprofit, Corporate LGBTQ+ Ally, Small Business, New Business, Member, and Pivot of the Year. Welcome all of you to the Out Georgia family. Next year, we will have even more businesses, organizations, and professionals who call Out Georgia home. Without further ado, the 2020 LGBTQ+ Business Summit and Community Honors presented by Georgia Power starts now.